Hello all my Kenvians and welcome to a brand new episode of Discovering Steven Universe. Today the episode I'm going to be watching is Beach City Drift. And I think I mentioned in the at the end of the previous episode that I really have got nothing as far as guesses as to how this episode might go. It's going to be a complete surprise for me really, because all I know is that Beach City will be involved in some way. Go figure, it's one of the main locations of the show. So, and maybe racing, because, you know, like Tokyo Drift from the Fast and Furious series. Something like that. But, let's get right into it with the episode of Beach City Drift, and let's find out how much my guesses are accurate or inaccurate. This is a really weird intro to the episode, I apologize. But regardless, let's go.
I told them the universe is my road.
Bum bum bum.
Steven. Oh, hey Connie. Thanks for letting
Connie!
me.
Hey!
This car's great.
Ring, slap, bracelets, you know, before your kids were born.
True.
What a time to be alive.
My childhood.
I love that car. I wanted that car.
Creepy.
Also, these things are crazy.
Still mad about Kevin? Yes.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen Steven hold a grudge.
You're thinking mad. I still feel like
To the bottom wins, but you don't have to worry about that last part.
God, he is so creepy.
guy is going down.
Just kill him. It'd be much easier. Too far? Too far. The question is, do they know how to drive? Is a thing, especially a stick shift.
I know you want to be close, but this is a little killy.
He's like an anime villain.
Giving up yet?
Why do you
Dude, I don't even have a brother. I'm like this because I think it's funny.
Kill him.
Chowsers.
Chowsers? Oh, Chow. Okay, sure.
You caught up. I was worried you missed seeing me win. What, so you're shy now?
Ignoring him. Perfect. Ignore the narcissist. It gets under his skin.
Second place isn't so bad. For my first time driving a car.
Look at you. You're so obsessed with me, you're gonna drive away. Fine. I'll play with some kiddie toy cars. I can beat you with that too. Don't forget, you're obsessed with me. Obsessed! Obsessed!
Clearly. Wow.
You go, I just adore you. I wish that I knew what makes you think.
Same thing. Sorry, I know. It's anyway, I'm not gonna go over that again. Went over that in the previous video. But yeah, this was an interesting episode. I was very happy to see Symphonic. Very happy to see Connie, of course. The way this episode leaves me feeling is I'm curious if this Kevin weirdo is going to show up anymore. Just because this was clearly a sequel to, or like a spiritual sequel to the events of the previous one. And it showed a lot of growth on the part of Steven and Connie. Seemingly more Steven, perhaps, just because, I mean, he was the one that was just super obsessed, like super angry with Kevin, whereas Connie, like, she was extremely annoyed at him. Like she said, it was she was angry on the inside more than anything. So maybe that was sort of her way of unleashing, I guess, in the end. But yeah, I wonder if Kevin is going to show up anymore. And also, if it'll be sort of a thing of he has become so obsessed with Stevonnie that he, well, I mean, that may just be it. Like, he's the one that's become obsessed with Stevonnie, as is shown at the end of the episode there. But yeah, it's... I am admittedly a little bit confused because, to the best of my knowledge, neither of the two kids has actually driven a vehicle before. If that's happened in the previous episodes, let me know, because I honestly just can't remember if that's happened. But if I'm right and they haven't, the fact that even combined, even fused, that they're able to drive a stick shift perfectly for the first time just doesn't make sense to me. And I know, it's cartoon logic, all that, but typically, when it comes to characters doing things for the first time in this show, they're remotely realistic about it in that showing that they don't really know exactly what they're doing. That's why Connie does the sword training, because she didn't know how to sword fight. That's why they do a lot of the things they do in this show. So if that's the case, and it's a very minor point, but it's a big aspect of this episode in particular, of them being able to race and drive. Like, maybe Greg has shown Steven how to drive in the past. I seriously doubt that Connie's parents have let her drive before, considering her age. Greg and Steven, maybe. But again, at the same time, like, all we saw was Steven, like, sort of playing with the gears, pretending to drive. And it's something I just keep harping on, I know, but it does seem strange to me that they would do that. So I feel like that's probably the one issue I've actually had with an episode in a long while. And maybe that's why I'm just harping on it so much, because usually I don't truly have any major issues with an episode. But it's just that gap of logic, I guess. But moving on from there, the episode as a whole, again, I enjoyed it. Really creeped out by that Kevin guy, though. I mean, clearly that's the intention. He's the antagonist, and he was creepy in the episode where Steven and Connie fused originally, too. So I feel off-put by him being in the episode at all, but obviously he has to be there. Favorite music of the episode by far has to be the music going on when they were racing. It was this really cool, I guess you would say, electronica, that very video gamey, almost a little bit anime, I think, which kind of goes along with how that Kevin character, especially during the driving, seemed like not exactly a speed racer villain per se, but like an anime character who's, he's a bad boy. That's probably the best way to put it, I guess. But yeah, just the music throughout that entire section was awesome, and I truly, truly loved it. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about this episode, other than, kind of going back to what I said at the beginning. My question would be whether or not we're going to see Kevin anymore in this show. And considering they bring back, relatively minor characters from time to time, even if for just sort of a cameo, I imagine he will pop up at least once more. Because I'm trying to think here, in the times that they've fused into Stevonnie, I don't think that he's been there in every episode, although it hasn't been a very frequent thing, admittedly. But again, I have a feeling that at some point in the future, when they fuse into Stevani, he's going to show up. Like, maybe the episode will start with them fighting a corrupted gym and taking it out, and then all of a sudden, after the fight's over, Kevin appears. Just a guess. I have no idea, obviously. But that's all I have to say about this episode. Please, everyone, do let me know what you think about this episode, what you have to say about my thoughts regarding this episode. And coming up next, we will be watching Restaurant Wars, which I guess is going to be about restaurants. Well, according to the short description, Steven must help the Frymans and the Pizzas settle a reignited rivalry between their restaurants. So, I don't know. That's it. I'm sorry it's late and I'm being weird as usual. But as always, everyone, if you would like to see more videos like this ahead of time, anywhere from a day to possibly a week ahead of the time before the episode actually goes public on YouTube, you can become a patron of mine over at patreon.com, or more specifically, patreon.com/PapaKennMedia. There's a link in the description down below, as well as at the end of this video. And for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to videos before they go public, which is now that I'm back in the swing of things, you know, there's more videos and episodes going up as opposed to the dead zone that happened the last few months. But that's all I have to say, everyone. Thank you very much for being here, and I will see you on the next episode of Discovering Steven Universe.